So today's topic we are going to discuss about democracy. 20, lesson number 20, democracy, an evolving idea. What is democracy? I think we all have an idea about what is democracy. Democracy is a form of government where the word democracy has been originated from the Latin words demos and kratia. The Latin words are demos and kratia. Demos means people, rule. Kratia means rule. So the rule of the people or the people's rule. How can the democratic form of government be people's rule? See, as we all know, there are different types of governments which are present from the ancient period to the modern period. As Aristotle has classified them into 6 categories, like the best form of government according to Aristotle was monarchy. The bad form or the worst form of government in monarchy is tyranny or oligarchy. Then second form we have the oligarchy, and then opposite to that we have the rule by few people. So then from one person it is monarchy. When he is turning against the interest of the people, it is called tyranny. Then a group of people or a few people or few families ruling is known as aristocracy. The people moving away from the interest of the common people and having their own self-motivated interest, then it is called oligarchy. Then the best or the large number of people get involved in the form of government is known as good democracy, and the worst form is known as bad democracy. So according to Aristotle, when he lived, he felt that the best form of government was monarchy, and he felt at that time the worst form of the government was democracy. But today the best form of government is democracy. This is not criticizing Aristotle, or this is not questioning the statements which are given by Aristotle. The statement which is given by Aristotle may be right at his point of view at that time in the ancient period. But today, according to the new changing ideology, the advancements of human knowledge, technology has brought awareness about the rights, duties, human rights, fundamental rights, child rights, and basic rights. So all these have given and evolved out of the French Revolution, American War of Independence, then the glorious England Revolution. These all made the people to think on the lines of democracy. So today, in the present century, the best form of democracy is, the best form of government is democracy. Now, democracy is originating from the Latin word demos and kratia, meaning people's rule. And here, when we discuss about the democracy as an evolving idea of the present century, we are going to focus with certain examples and certain characteristics of the democratic form of government. As in the previous lesson, we have discussed about 2 different nations, how the revolutions have come up there. We have discussed about Libya, then we have discussed about Myanmar or Burma. Now in Libya, for a government to be known as a democratic government, it should be a responsible government. This is the foremost category or the qualification for a government to be called as a democratic government. Now, the responsible government means in Libya also we have a good governance where any other nation in Africa could not achieve so much well-developed socio-economic literacy, education, health in all aspects. They were well advanced than the other nations in Africa. But there we don't have a responsible government, because there we have the RCC, that is Revolutionary Command Council. This Revolutionary Command Council is appointed or under the control of the Libyan dictator or a military ruler, Mr. Gaddafi. So Mahmoud Gaddafi appointed the RCC and controlled the RCC. This RCC acted only on the advice of Gaddafi and accountable only to Gaddafi. But this RCC used to dictate the terms, the conditions, the works for the democratic councils who are elected by the people of Libya. Now, let us focus on the definition of democracy. In the definition of democracy, we have discussed that democracy is the rule of the people, people's rule. Then how can it be dictated by some other group of people who are not at all elected by the people of that nation, who are merely just the representatives of its leader? It is very clear. Libyan leader Mahmoud Gaddafi appointed the members of the Revolutionary Command Council who used to dictate and give the laws, rules, regulations, formulas, whatever they have to be done, that for the Democratic Council which was elected directly by the people. So here in Libya, the basic first rule of law of the democratic government, that is responsible government, was not in existence. It is very clear, it is completely under the control of the dictator or the military leader of Libya. So it is not at all responsible government. But if you look at the other angle, at the development, socially, economically, politically, educationally, medically, in any field, yes, Libya has advanced than the other nations. But in actual ground reality, in the form of government, the people do not have equal rights. The people do not have multi-party system. The people were not given freedom to choose their leaders. The wish, maybe the needs of the people are attended, but it is not in a democratic manner where the people can determine the actions of the government. So in Libya, we don't have a responsible government. So for any nation to be a democratic government, it should have the responsible government which is elected by the people, accountable and answerable to the people. But in Libya, we don't have any such concept of government answering to people, or people do not have any right to question them or question the actions of any of the RCC members or the other actions taken by the military ruler.